God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My beloved Son, I see what no one else can see. I see the desire to cry mixed with the urge to smile, this silent conflict that is born when my spirit begins to touch old wounds that stayed hidden for so long. This is not weakness, it is deep purification. It is I who am removing the invisible weights you carried in your chest for years, burdens accumulated in silence while you kept living, working, fulfilling responsibilities, smiling at the world, but bleeding on the inside. I saw every held-back tear you swallowed so as not to worry anyone, every prayer whispered without a voice when you lacked even the strength to speak, every long night when you wondered if there was still hope for your story. None of this was lost, everything reached me at the right time. Do you feel that you are ready for a deep change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes, all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors of abundance, peace, and blessings that God has already prepared for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and reflects on the outside. If you desire to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, spiritual and material, click the first comment. There you will find a simple practice, lovingly guided, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. Now, I pour out my healing oil, the oil that washes away old guilt, dissolves persistent regrets, and dismantles resentments hidden behind the indifference you learned to use as a defense. You will sleep better, breathe more freely, and speak without that constant knot in your throat, because what once was an open wound now begins to heal with care and love. I am restoring what was wounded in silence and bringing rest to your weary soul. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. Comment: God is healing what no one sees. Where a scar appears, the rule of pain comes to an end, because the wound no longer governs your heart. What remains is only memory transformed into learning, no longer the suffering that held you captive. I am changing the way you relate to the past, for I will not allow old memories to keep dictating your choices, emotions, or reactions in the present. What once paralyzed you now loses its power, and what once hurt you no longer has authority over who you are becoming. The right people will begin to draw near without effort, without games, without heaviness, while those who no longer belong on your journey will drift away naturally and quietly. This will not be rejection, it will be alignment. It will not be loss, it will be deliverance. Your surroundings will change as well, because the energy of emotional healing cannot be hidden. When I restore the inside, the outside responds. You will notice lighter conversations, more sincere looks, truer bonds, and a new kind of peace accompanying each step you take. All of this is a reflection of what I am doing in the deepest part of your soul, where there was once pain and now there is freedom. Comment: I accept the change God is producing in me. You will recognize the beginning of this transformation in the simple details of daily life, in what once went unnoticed but now touches your heart differently. You will wake up with more lightness in your chest, take a deep breath, and realize that the weight that used to accompany your thoughts is no longer there with the same intensity. You will smile without noticing, not out of obligation, but because something within you is beginning to realign with hope. There will be a subtle yet constant sense that something new is about to happen, even if you cannot explain it in words. This happens because the change has already begun, even if quietly. Love never abandoned you, it only waited for the right time to return without causing wounds, without repeating old patterns of pain. Now is that time. Open your heart and listen carefully, for I am speaking to you in every detail, in every pause, in every breath. Behold, I am making all things new. Revelation chapter 21 verse 5. Do not be afraid of the feeling of newness. It is not instability, it is confirmation. It is the clear sign that the old season is behind you and a new beginning is already in motion. Comment: I believe a new phase has already begun. Soon, you will receive an answer to that prayer you made with almost no faith, spoken more like a weary whisper than a confident cry, yet still true. I heard when your words came out trembling, mixed with fear, doubt, and wounded hope. You will look at what happened and say, with eyes full of surprise, "My God, it really happened." And I will answer you with tenderness, "Yes, son, I was always listening, even when you thought the heavens were silent." The transformation has already been released in the spiritual realm, the restoration is already activated, and what once seemed too distant to reach is now moving toward you, step by step. Do not abandon the path of faith right now. Keep walking, even when you do not understand the process, even when the answers seem too slow for your weary heart. True faith is not walking with everything clearly visible. It is continuing even when the fog covers the road. Do not let weariness make you stop on the eve of the miracle. The answer does not come to those who give up when they are closest. Trust, persevere, and remain, because what I promised is in motion, and nothing can prevent the fulfillment of what I have determined for your life. Comment: I keep walking, even without seeing everything. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. Love is already in motion. The anointing that heals is already flowing, and your story is being rewritten with care, intention, and divine precision. Something has shifted within you, and your heart recognizes it even if your mind is still catching up. The sadness that once followed you like a shadow has begun to lose its grip, and the constant weight that drained your strength no longer defines your days. Heaven is acting upon your soul in ways you cannot fully see yet, but you can feel the quiet relief, the subtle peace, the gentle light returning. What once hurt every time you remembered now hurts less, because healing has already begun. Remember this truth: weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 30 verse 5. Do not return to identifying yourself with pains that I have already started to remove. You are not your wounds. You are not your past. You are not the season that broke you. I am doing a new work within you, one that restores without noise and transforms without force. Allow this process to continue. Comment with faith and conviction, "My story is being restored." For a long time, you learned how to walk while wounded. You kept moving forward despite the damage, trained yourself to smile on the outside while screaming on the inside. You were strong when no one noticed, resilient when no one helped, faithful even when you felt empty. You survived seasons that should have crushed you, and that endurance shaped you deeply. But today I speak to you with clarity and tenderness. Your heart will no longer bleed in silence. I am restoring every broken part, touching precisely where it hurt the most, at the right time and in the right way. Not to expose your pain, not to reopen old scars, but to heal you completely. What was ignored by others was never ignored by me. I saw every tear you swallowed, every prayer you whispered without words. Now I am responding. Healing does not always come suddenly, but it comes surely. You are entering a season where relief replaces resistance, and peace replaces survival mode. Trust this process. Speak it with faith. God touches exactly where I need. They told you that you were exaggerating, that you were too sensitive, that you needed to swallow everything and stay strong. Over time, those words built a layer of hardness around your heart, not because you became cold, but because you needed protection. That armor helped you survive when you had no other shelter. But now I am gently removing it, because you are ready to be healed without being broken again. You no longer need to defend yourself from love, from truth, from restoration. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. I know your limits. I know how deep the pain went, and I know exactly how far to go. I will not rush you. I will not overwhelm you. Healing will come with safety, patience, and grace. Let your heart soften again, not out of weakness, but out of trust. You are stronger than before, wiser than before, and now ready to receive what once hurt too much. Declare it openly. I allow God to heal my heart. I am healing your inner world so I can entrust you with something lasting in the outer one. What is coming will not be a love meant to fill emptiness, but a love that walks beside a whole soul. No more emotional dependence. No more surviving on crumbs. No more relationships sustained by fear of being alone or by the need to be validated. I am rebuilding you from the inside out, forming in you a new identity where loving does not mean disappearing, and opening your heart does not mean breaking yourself apart. You are learning that your worth is not measured by how much you give or how much you endure, but by who you are in me. I am teaching you to stand firm, rooted, and secure, so that when love comes, it adds to your life instead of consuming it. This is a season of maturity, clarity, and self-respect born from healing. What I am forming in you now will protect what I will place in your hands tomorrow. Receive this new identity with humility and courage, knowing that you are no longer defined by old wounds, but by the truth of who you are in God. Comment, I receive my new identity in God. The one I am preparing to walk beside you has also known battles, silence, and long nights of refinement. Two healed hearts do not imprison each other. They align, support, and grow together. Pay attention to what is blooming within you. You no longer react as you once did. You can now forgive what once felt unforgivable. You can remember the past without that crushing weight in your chest. This is not weakness, it is freedom. This is the evidence that healing has taken root deep within your soul. You are no longer governed by old triggers, but guided by discernment and peace. The Spirit is teaching you to respond with wisdom instead of pain, with grace instead of defense. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, and that liberty is now active in you. You are learning to love without fear, to trust without losing yourself, and to move forward without chains. Honor this transformation. It is sacred. It is real. It is preparing you for a connection built on freedom, not control. Comment: I am living in the freedom of the Spirit. I am uprooting ancient roots that once suffocated your dreams and kept you living small out of fear of disappointment. Do not accept limitation as your portion any longer. Scarcity was never part of my design for your life. I wrote growth, restoration, and emotional and spiritual abundance over you long before you understood your own value. A new season has begun, and you are ready to live it fully, whole, healed, and aware of who you are in me. You no longer need to shrink to survive or hide to be safe. This is a time of expansion, where your faith stretches, your vision clears, and your confidence is restored. What once drained you will no longer have power over you. I am calling you to step forward with courage, trusting that what lies ahead is not repetition of old pain, but fulfillment of my promises. Walk into this new season with expectancy. You are prepared, protected, and positioned for what is next. Comment: I accept the new season God has prepared. You are not being led into a half-lived life, nor into a love that arrives fragmented or fragile. What is being prepared for you comes with fullness, truth, and peace woven into every layer. The season ahead will not be marked by constant alertness or fear of loss, but by a quiet confidence that allows your heart to rest. You will wake without the familiar weight of anxiety pressing on your chest, without the silent question of whether today you will be left behind or misunderstood. Your nights will no longer be haunted by the fear of betrayal or abandonment, because trust will no longer feel like a risk, it will feel natural again. You will walk beside someone who does not demand pieces of you to feel whole, but who inspires you to become more than you thought possible. Love will no longer drain you, it will strengthen you. Peace will no longer feel temporary, it will become your baseline. And this transformation will not come from forcing life to behave differently, but from an inner restoration that finally allows you to receive what has always been meant for you. At the same time, something quiet yet powerful is taking place within the walls of your home and the memories tied to it. Bonds that once felt irreparably damaged are being carefully rewoven. Words spoken long ago, by family members, partners, even children, have lived inside you like sharp echoes, shaping how you protect yourself, how you love, and how you expect to be treated. Those words carried weight because they came from people who mattered, and their impact lingered far beyond the moment they were spoken. But now, those voices are losing their authority. They no longer define your worth or dictate your future. What once pierced you is being silenced, not by denial, but by healing. The narrative that shaped your identity through pain is being replaced by promises rooted in truth. You are no longer living under sentences that were never meant to be permanent. The power they once held is dissolving, and in its place, clarity and dignity are returning. Your identity is no longer being molded by past wounds, but by promises that carry restoration within them. Healing is not a distant concept, it is an active process unfolding now. Family restoration is not an unrealistic hope, it is a living promise already in motion. Love that is sincere, stable, and safe is not something reserved for others, it is being prepared for you. You will witness relationships mended in ways that once felt impossible. Children who distanced themselves through confusion, pride, or unresolved pain will find their way back, not driven by obligation or guilt, but by genuine love. Their return will not be forced or awkward. It will be natural, heartfelt, and sincere. Hearts on both sides are being softened simultaneously. Conversations will happen that you once rehearsed in silence but never believed would take place. Understanding will replace defensiveness, and compassion will rise where resentment once lived. Where bitterness once settled, longing for connection is now being planted. Where distance felt permanent, reconciliation is quietly forming. You will see embraces that once existed only in imagination. You will hear words you thought were lost forever, expressions of regret, acknowledgement, and love spoken without pretense. Apologies will not sound hollow or rehearsed. They will carry the weight of genuine remorse and the warmth of truth. These moments will not erase the past, but they will redeem it. They will not pretend pain never existed, but they will prove that healing is stronger than history. And in those moments, you will realize that restoration is not about returning to what was, but about creating something new from what has been learned. Your home will become a place of abundance, not merely in provision, but in grace. The table will hold more than food. It will hold forgiveness, honesty, and presence. Conversations will unfold without masks or performance. Tears will flow, not from despair, but from release. Laughter will return, not forced, but natural. The atmosphere will shift from tension to peace, from silence to understanding. Cycles that once repeated themselves through generations, patterns of abandonment, anger, infidelity, emotional distance, and unspoken pain, are being broken through your willingness to listen, to heal, and to believe. What once felt inevitable is no longer your destiny. The story changes here, not because you are perfect, but because you chose restoration over resignation. Your life becomes the interruption that ends what no one before you could stop. From this point forward, you become a reference, a visible sign that transformation is possible. Others will look at your life and recognize a turning point. They will say that something shifted when you began to seek healing, when you chose faith over bitterness, when you allowed restoration to reach the deepest parts of you. And it will not be attributed to your strength alone, because even you will know that something greater was at work. Your emotional healing will overflow beyond you, touching lives you never intended to influence. Your peace will become permission for others to believe that theirs is possible too. Your journey will quietly invite others to confront their own wounds and begin their own process of restoration. Those who observe your story will have to acknowledge that there has been a divine intervention. The era of constant pain is coming to an end. This does not mean life will become flawless or free of challenges, but it does mean that you are no longer fragile in the face of difficulty. You are developing emotional structure, the ability to navigate highs and lows without losing yourself. You are learning to love without abandoning your boundaries. Discernment is becoming natural to you now. You can recognize what nourishes your soul and what slowly destroys it, and you are no longer afraid to let go of what harms you. You are no longer driven by wounded emotions, but guided by a restored faith that anchors you. You will stand firm, secure, and grounded. True healing is not only the absence of pain, it is the absence of fear that pain will return and control you. That is the place you are being led to now. Even when the path feels unclear, every step carries purpose. Every moment you chose trust over fear, every time you remained open when retreat felt safer, you were building the capacity to sustain the blessings approaching your life. Do not underestimate what is forming during periods of quiet. Stillness is not stagnation, it is preparation. Roots grow strongest where they cannot be seen. Your inner peace is already reshaping your surroundings in subtle ways. Situations that once unsettled you now meet a calm center within you. This is not passivity, it is strength refined through patience. And as the first light of a new dawn begins to rise over your life, you will realize that what once felt like delay was actually alignment. The horizon is changing. What is coming is real. And you are ready to receive it. What you are living now is not coincidence, not illusion, and not the residue of wishful thinking. It is the visible edge of a promise finally stepping into reality. For a long time, your faith sowed seeds in soil that seemed barren, watered not by joy but by tears, patience, and silent endurance. There were seasons when believing felt heavier than doubting, when trusting felt like standing alone in the dark with nothing but a trembling heart. Yet every prayer whispered through pain was recorded, every tear fell on ground already marked for harvest. What is about to unfold is tangible joy, not distant hope. Your hands, once clenched around grief and accustomed to holding loss, will open naturally to receive blessings that arrive in abundance. You will recognize the shift not because life becomes perfect, but because peace begins to outweigh fear. Fulfillment will no longer feel like a concept meant for others. It will rest in your days, settle in your breathing, and announce itself in quiet moments when you realize you are no longer surviving, but truly living. The road beneath your feet has changed, even if your eyes have not yet fully adjusted to it. What once felt like an endless walk of solitude now carries a presence that does not demand explanations or prove itself through noise. This companionship is steady, faithful, and transformative. It does not rush you or pressure you to be stronger than you are. It walks with you, matching your pace, turning every step into an act of release rather than resistance. What is growing inside you now cannot be destroyed, because it was planted intentionally, deeply, and with eternal purpose. No storm has authority over it, no opposition can uproot it, no delay can cancel it. Even when the atmosphere around you seemed to suddenly shift, when tension entered conversations, when heaviness settled into familiar spaces, when your own home felt different, you were not imagining it. You were standing near the moment of transition. Resistance rises when purpose is close, and opposition reveals what has been marked by promise. Your inner world became contested ground not because you were weak, but because you were carrying something valuable. There was a destiny attached to your healing, a future connected to your restoration, and forces you could not see attempted to suffocate you internally so you would abandon externally what was prepared for you. Confusion tried to disguise itself as logic. Emotional distance pretended to be protection. Weariness whispered that it was safer not to hope again. But limits were placed where you could not see them. The purpose within you was guarded. At the precise moment when pressure intensified and clarity seemed most distant, intervention was released. What your natural eyes could not witness unfolded beyond the visible realm. Assistance did not arrive gently, it arrived decisively. Authority confronted opposition. Protection engaged threat. What was sent on your behalf was not meant to comfort the enemy, but to remove it. A battle ignited where human words could not reach. This was not poetry or metaphor, it was action. Strength moved with precision. The forces that had lingered, feeding discord, planting misunderstandings, and amplifying unexplainable emotional strain were confronted and displaced. What had been attempting to take root in your environment lost its permission. You noticed the aftermath before you understood the cause. One night you slept deeper. One conversation felt lighter. One breath came easier. The air itself seemed clearer, less dense. That relief was not accidental. It was the echo of resistance being broken. Protection surrounded your mind when exhaustion made you vulnerable. Barriers were placed between you and thoughts that tried to convince you to quit, withdraw, or give up on life, love, and renewal. What sought to isolate you was intercepted before it could define you. As a result, alignment has begun within you. Emotional reactions that once overwhelmed you no longer carry the same power. Your heart is steadier. Your perception is clearer. You are beginning to see people as they are, not through the lens of past wounds or unmet expectations. Discernment is replacing confusion. Peace is teaching you who belongs in your life and who merely occupied space. The environment around you has been cleansed so that you can see with faith rather than pain. Lies that told you your story was finished, that love had passed you by, that your family or future was beyond repair were confronted and silenced. What was preserved within you, faith, hope, love, was protected fiercely. You may not yet grasp how many conflicts were neutralized, how many outcomes were reversed, or how many endings were prevented, but you will notice their absence. Situations that once escalated will dissolve. Doors that seemed permanently closed will open without force. Dialogue will begin where silence once dominated. Understanding will replace anger without dramatic effort. Reconnection will occur naturally, without manipulation or desperation. What unfolds will not be the result of chance or human strategy, but release. Intervention was necessary because the situation surpassed human control. When your capacity ended, action was taken beyond it. What was at risk was not only your peace, but an emotional inheritance meant to be yours, love promised, unity intended, connection designed. Distractions and emotional coldness tried to divert what was established for you, but the outcome has been overturned. What was spoken against you has been revoked. What was threatened has been secured. Victory has marked your space, and the atmosphere responds accordingly. That sense that something good is approaching is not imagination, it is alignment with what has already been settled. Now peace descends gently, like dew after a long night. Restoration will express itself through reconciliation, reunions, and beginnings that feel both new and familiar. All of this is the fruit of movement you never saw while you were hurting. While you endured quietly, defense was active. While you focused on making it through another day, life was being preserved for you. The healing you feel now is not superficial, it is the result of a cleared path. You are walking on ground that has been prepared, protected, and made safe. What lies ahead is not fragile. It is stable, intentional, and filled with continuity. You are not stepping into chaos, but into peace earned through unseen victory. And from here forward, you do not walk as one merely spared, but as one restored, alive, anchored, and finally free to live well. I am leading you into something new, not just a change of circumstances, but a rebirth of the soul. What begins now is a season marked by restoration, where what was broken inside you is being healed layer by layer, quietly and deeply. Your faith, once shaken, is being renewed with strength you did not know you still possessed. Your heart, once guarded by pain, is being prepared to love again in truth, without fear and without disguise. You will see the miracle unfold before your eyes, not as a distant promise, but as a living reality. Nothing will be missing. No piece will be lost. Every detail that once seemed delayed will fall into place with precision. What I am building in your life will not be partial, fragile, or temporary. It will be complete, firm, and lasting. The victory that was decided in the unseen realm is now moving toward manifestation, and nothing can stop what I have already released. The season of waiting has shaped you, refined you, and taught you to recognize my voice even in silence. Now you will walk forward not as someone hoping for change, but as someone aligned with purpose, carrying peace instead of anxiety, certainty instead of fear, and trust instead of doubt. I know the weight you have carried, the offenses that cut deep, the words that wounded your spirit, and the betrayals that left scars you tried to hide. I know how difficult it is to pray for those who hurt you, and yet I ask you to do so not because they deserve it, but because your freedom depends on it. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to others, it is the door through which your own healing enters. Every prayer you lift, even through pain, is a seed placed into the soil of eternity, and I am the God who brings life even from barren ground. Nothing offered to me in sincerity is ever wasted. When you choose mercy over resentment, you step out of the prison of the past and into the wide land of peace I have prepared for you. Do not allow the actions of others to slow your journey or define your worth. I am guiding you along a path of blessing, and obstacles placed by human hands cannot cancel divine direction. Keep moving forward, even when your heart feels tired, because I am walking with you, strengthening you where you feel weak, and restoring you where you once felt empty. I have already drawn the map of your destiny, and it leads to places of peace, growth, and fulfillment. You are not walking blindly. You are chosen, seen, and sustained by my presence. I desire to be your refuge when the world becomes heavy, your rest when your thoughts race, and your strength when your own efforts fall short. If you walk in my ways and hold fast to my word, you will never walk alone. My presence will surround your days and guard your nights. Trust me with your whole heart, not leaning only on what you can understand or explain. Acknowledge me in every step, in the small decisions and the large ones, and I will straighten the paths that once seemed confusing and uncertain. My promises are not fragile or temporary. My power does not fade with time. I am the one who turns impossibilities into testimonies, who opens doors no one can shut, and who makes a way where there seemed to be none. Take my hand and walk with me, knowing that fear has no authority where my presence abides. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not lose heart, for I am your God. I strengthen you when you feel weak, I help you when the burden feels too heavy, and I uphold you with a hand that never lets go. I will not abandon you, even when the road feels long and uncertain. When challenges rise like walls before you, I will be the strength that lifts you over them. When doors close without explanation, I will create a new opening where you least expect it. Everything you need to sustain your family, to fulfill your purpose, and to see your dreams take form has already been provided by my grace. What will change your life will not come from striving or fear, but from trust and faithfulness. Be grateful, even in small beginnings. Be faithful, even when results are not yet visible. I see your loyalty, your perseverance, and your quiet faith, and I desire to guide your life as a light that never goes out. I know the plans I have for you, plans of peace and hope, plans that lead you into a future filled with meaning and security. My Spirit will be your counselor, your guide, and your constant companion. He will show you the right path, even when the world offers many confusing voices. Do not hesitate. Do not retreat in fear. I am arranging every detail, weaving together what you cannot yet see, ensuring that my purpose is fulfilled in your life. Along the way, you may face opposition, misunderstanding, and even hostility. Some will attempt to harm you, to discourage you, or to pull you away from me. do not be afraid. Pray for them. Bless those who speak against you. Every word spoken in malice will be transformed into blessing in my hands. Do not be distracted by insults or trapped by resentment. The enemy seeks to weaken you by making you feel abandoned, defeated, or hopeless. But as long as you remain anchored in my word, you will stand firm and unshaken. You are stronger than you realize because my truth lives within you. Use my word as both shield and sword. It is alive, powerful, and sharper than anything formed against you. When darkness tries to surround you, my word will illuminate your way. When doubt whispers lies, my truth will remind you of who you are in me. I am the one who equips you, strengthens you, and gives you wisdom beyond your own understanding. My word will guide your decisions, guard your heart, and give you clarity even in your darkest moments. Remember this: what I have prepared for you cannot be taken away. It is a covenant between you and me. I do not ask for your wealth, your achievements, or your status. None of those impress me. What I desire is your heart. I want to dwell in your life, your home, and your family. When you give me that place, everything else finds its proper order and peace follows. Pray and trust me, even when you cannot see or feel what I am doing. I am always working, often in silence, shaping blessings that will arrive at the right time. The worries that fill your mind, the problems that steal your sleep, place them in my hands. Speak to me honestly. Tell me what hurts, what confuses you, and what you need. I already know your heart, but I delight in your trust. I will not give you anything that will harm you. Nothing is hidden from me, and nothing is too small or too great for my care. I will meet you where you are and lift you up so you may walk in victory and pursue your dreams under my blessing. Your soul recognizes my voice. Your spirit knows this moment is not accidental. You are hearing these words because I love you, and I know exactly what your heart needs. Receive strength, faith, and peace today, and walk forward knowing that I am with you, now and always. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.